you, surprise for me, surprise for everybody. I am officially pregnant with baby number 2. So here is the Q&A. I posted on Instagram the other day asking for questions. I've done a mini Instagram stories, I've done a TikTok, and here we are with the long version on YouTube. I'm gonna try and make it not, oh my gosh, I'm gonna try and not make it too long, but I have all of my questions here, and we're just going to fly through them as quickly as possible. I love these kind of videos. I love to know the insights of people's lives. I love to know how they got to where they are. I'm just nosy. I'm into it. So I hope you guys are ready, whether you're doing your cardio, whether you're in the gym, out a walk, grab a cup of tea, hot chocolate, coffee, whatever it is you're into, and let's chat how I ended up, well, we know how, but how I ended up surprisingly pregnant with baby number 2. I'm so grateful to be pregnant. I am so grateful my body can carry this, and I'm also so grateful that we haven't really had to try to be pregnant, and I say that in the most sensitive way possible because so many women struggle with infertility, so many people struggle to get pregnant, and my heart goes out to those people, and I really don't want any of my videos to ever come across as like, oh well, I just got pregnant by accident, oopsies. That's obviously my personality and that's how we're approaching it in our life, but I don't want that to like reflect onto other people's experiences and come across as like ungrateful or anything like that. Yes, this was a surprise, i.e. it was not planned, and you might think, Steph, you're a 31-year-old woman, how do you not plan to be pregnant? And I'll tell you how. So this was not planned. We are happy about it, FYI. It was a shock at first. It was a shock to the system. It was a, oh my god, I wasn't prepared to volunteer myself for this again. But long story short, I have always tracked my cycle. I have tracked my cycle since the dawn of time. Okay, I've never been on hormonal contraception, I've never been on the pill, anything like that. It's always worked for me. Tracking my cycle has always worked. I do believe that tracking your cycle only works if you have a very reliable, consistent, regular cycle. So from the day I was like, well, I think I was like 11 or 12 when I got my period, every 28 days without fail that period shows up. It lasts 4 or 5 days. I've always said I get really like lucky with periods. I've never had really minor cramp for like a day, tired and crave chocolate. Other than that, I go about my day and my life as normal. I don't have to change anything in like my life or my routine just because I'm on my period. However, after having Blake, my period came back 6 months postpartum, but I was bleeding for like 8 weeks postpartum. Whole dilemma there, we'll get into that at a different time. And I was breastfeeding for 14 months. So my cycle was there every month from like 6 months to 14 months. From 6 months postpartum onwards, my cycle was there, my period was there, but it wasn't as consistent and regular as normal. So sometimes it's 28 days, sometimes 29, 30, even like a 31 every now and then. Bit heavier than normal. Other than that, again, still not bad, but they were not as reliable and as consistent as they used to be. Thus, on top of that, I also had like this monthly sickness that developed at 6 months postpartum. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. I developed the worst illness of all time. Every month, without fail, violently ill to the point where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink water, I couldn't walk, I couldn't even lift Blake. Violently ill, stabbing pains in my stomach, like constant stabbing pains in my stomach, thought I'm literally going to die. Continuous like vomiting and being sick every like half an hour to an hour for 24 hours. I literally would sit in my bathroom all night and just watch the clock just go round, and we have like a wee digital clock thing on a toothbrush charger. I would just sit there on the floor over the toilet and just watch this clock go by every half an hour, every hour. I'd fall asleep and wake back up, be sick. I would just literally lie in the bathroom floor. I couldn't even lie, I had to like slump against the wall. It was awful. Awful. I've been to the doctor so many times about it, I've been to the hospital about it. They were just like, I just feel like your hormones haven't settled back down yet, postpartum. Anyway, because that was happening, that has always happened around the time of ovulation, and I think because of that and my period's not been like fully back to being regular as they used to be. I've been tracking my cycle, blah 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 blah, and it's not quite been accurate. It's not quite been nail on the head. Thus, each swimmer got all up there, charged on ahead, found an egg and thought, let's go. Round 2, here we are. And I always said, so another question was, would you have wanted another child? You're not going to not want a child you're carrying in your body, right? But Adam was a no. He was like, I'm good. I'm good. And I said, for like the first like year to year and a half of Blake's life, I was like, no, like I am one and done. It's quite fine for me. I'm not interested in being pregnant again. It's not having the child that's the hard part for me. It's the pregnancy and the postpartum. I'm so grateful to be pregnant. I am so grateful my body can carry this, and I'm also so grateful that we haven't really had to try to be pregnant. And I say that in the most sensitive way possible, because so many women struggle with infertility, so many people struggle to get pregnant, and my heart goes out to those people. And I really don't want any of my videos to ever come across as like, oh well, I just got pregnant by accident, oopsies. That's obviously my personality and that's how we're approaching it in our life, but I don't want that to like reflect onto other people's experiences and come across as like ungrateful or anything like that. But yeah, so basically in the past like 6 months or so, I was saying like, do you know what, I'm not against having another baby, but I really can't see myself volunteering to like be pregnant again. It would have to be a happy accident. And I thought maybe in like a year or 2, you know, maybe when Blake's like 3 or 4, a wee happy accident just has to make its way on in there. And the universe heard that and went, what, a happy accident right now? Sure thing. And got the timing a wee bit off, and lo and behold, here we are. So let's go forward for the rest of these questions to this lovely surprise, baby number 2, that I'm very grateful to be carrying. Do we know the gender yet? No, we do not know the gender yet. We do want to find out. We actually did go for the scan. So we've been for the scan, but it was a couple of days before Blake's 2nd birthday, and I just wanted to focus on Blake's birthday. She's like my absolute life. And I wanted to focus, make sure that her birthday was like not forced, not shadowed by anything. So we very much went to the scan, we got the envelope, and we have it in the house. That was like a month ago now, and I think because we've had it for so long, we're now just like, oh, we're not like desperate to look at it, whereas when you first get it, you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this like information is right there. And when it's coming to the gender, I think because obviously Blake was our like first baby, and we were like desperate to know what she was, and everything was new and first time and all the rest of it, and Adam was so adamant that she was a boy and I was so adamant that she was a girl, that it was like a pure competitive, like we're going to find out who's going to be right, who's going to be wrong, blah 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 blah. Whereas this time round, again, I do think it's a girl, he does think it's a boy, but we're very much like not dying on the hill, because I'm like, I mean, I think girl, but you know, who knows. And I think girl because A, I have one, and then in my head I'm like, oh, then that would just have 2 girls, like that would just make sense. I also grew up with a sister, and I feel like my experience is just girls, like having girlhood vibe, whereas Adam grew up all boys. So who knows. Let me see, has it been harder this time round as you also have to look after a toddler? So yes and no. So basically this time round I am nervous for the end of pregnancy. I'm nervous for the last like 2 months of pregnancy, because I know that's when like the, oh my gosh, I'm grateful to be pregnant, but I don't enjoy being pregnant. I'll be very honest, I don't enjoy it, and I don't think enough people say it, but I don't enjoy it. It's not comfortable, it's tiring, it's sore, like you're just an alien in your own body. But especially in those last like kind of 6-8 weeks, it is just brutal. It's not the most enjoyable time. And you got to suffer for good things, right enough, so here we are. So right now, currently, no, I'm not like finding it any harder. If anything, I'm finding it that I'm not thinking about it as much because I'm so busy. So I'm busy working, I'm busy with Blake, like I'm like, okay, I need to take my workout in, I need to do this, I need to do that, that I'm not constantly thinking about it. Whereas first time round, it's your first time round, everything is new, everything's just like whoa, like what was that, what was this, blah 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 blah. and obviously have more time in your hands because, well, you never had a baby, and obviously now I feel like I just don't have the time to sit and think about it and sit and, yeah, like overly, what's the word, just, yeah, overly think about it basically. Let me see, oh my god, I'm so out of breath already. I like that. Planned or unexpected blessing. We're going to call it unexpected blessing. I love that. Okay, so how have you been feeling this time versus last time? So pretty similar, but definitely some differences. Which might be, is that like a hint to like it being a different gender, or is it just because it's a different pregnancy? With Blake, I had like nausea for like 4 weeks, like the kind of 8 to 12 week mark. I think I took a couple of weeks off the gym, maybe like 3 weeks or something, because I was just so I couldn't eat anything other than like toast, bagels, bread, crisps, like that kind of thing. So many food aversions, like couldn't eat tofu, couldn't eat vegetables, couldn't eat rice, couldn't eat oats, beans and toast, don't even look at me. Went off coffee for the whole first trimester, and then extreme tiredness. Like I had to nap every single day when I was pregnant with Blake. This time round, no food aversions. I've pretty much ate exactly the same as I normally do. The beans on toast I did switch out for a bagel with like pesto and cheese and beans, not beans, and tofu. But I think I was just getting a bit bored of beans and toast as well, because I have had beans and toast as well, but majority has been bagel. Breakfast has been pretty much the same. I've been craving a lot of dessert though. I've been very much on the every night I need something, something, a lot of fruit, and my one takeaway craving has actually been Indian food. Now, first pregnancy with Blake, I couldn't eat any home cooked food. We always had to order food from someone else. It could literally be tofu, rice and veg, but it had to be cooked at a Thai restaurant and not by me. That was Adam's dream. He was just living life. Whereas now, the only thing I've really been craving is an Indian, and it's not even like what's the word, frequently. It's been every couple of weeks. So I'm like lentil dal with boiled rice, as much lemon juice as I can put all over it and scoop up with a poppadom. That's been my thing. Every night Adam's like, lentil dal, do you want a lentil dal, do you fancy a lentil dal? And I'm like, bro, back off and eat your home cooked food. But that man, he just loves to eat, he loves it. So any excuse. Tired, yes, but no naps. More so because I don't have time. I don't have time to nap. Because when Blake naps, I'm like firing through like work like right now. Got to get this video done, got to get this done, got to get that done. I'm also doing cardio this time, which I didn't do before. And when I say cardio, it's walking. So I'm walking every day for like 30 to 40 minutes, and I've said that before, I do that to put her to sleep in the pram, so it's nothing crazy, nothing extreme. But I didn't do any walking or cardio like that in my first pregnancy, and I am kind of feeling a bit more positive now doing that. I don't know if it's giving me more energy, I don't know if it's just making me feel better, blah 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 blah, I don't know. How has your training changed since becoming pregnant? Are you still hitting the gym? Okay, so I'm very much still hitting the gym 4 times a week. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning and I'm there. Oh, sometimes it's been 3 times a week, because we have had a few times that I'm like, okay, I'm just no, I'm making a baby today, I'm not doing anything else. But for the most part, I was very lucky to be able to train throughout my whole first pregnancy, and again I am lucky to be able to train throughout my second pregnancy. Pretty much the same workouts. The only thing I've not been able to do right now is hip thrusts. They just are not comfortable whatsoever. Just get them out the plan. I am qualified in pre and postnatal training, thus I have a program on my app for that. So if you have no clue where to start with your pregnancy training and you're allowed to continue training, then you can go there. But for me, I know what I can and cannot do, and I will always listen to my body. Always listen to your body, and always listen to your own healthcare provider, because everybody is different. But yes, for the most part, going to the gym 4 times a week, lifting weights, and then walking every day. And I know not everybody can do that. Not everybody has a smooth, touch wood, pregnancy that they can continue exercising. Not everybody wants to exercise, okay, and absolutely no shame. Do what you want in your life with your body in your pregnancy. Okay, this question's about body image, weight gain, all that fun stuff. Now, I'll be honest, with my first pregnancy, right, with Blake, I went in with the full belief, Steph, you're fit, you're healthy, you're shredded. I'm going to close the window. I'll do a belly review while I swear here. I've not got it on. But look at this. Look at this. Look at that. We're 24 weeks, so we're over halfway. We're getting there. We're on the train to cooking a baby. Pregnancy with Blake. I obviously started off really lean, fit, all the rest of it, and did not really gain much of a bump until about the 5.5, 6 month mark. Maybe at this stage is when I started to get a bit of a bump. First time round. This time, way faster. No, way faster. And I was kind of under the belief system that I wouldn't get a massive bump because I was fit and healthy. I was a small person to begin with. I'd go into the hospital and squeeze the baby out, no problem, and I'd be back in the gym 6 weeks later. That obviously didn't happen. That did not happen. If you want to watch my birth story, you can. Synopsis. Went from having barely any bump in my first like 5-6 months of pregnancy to my midwife being like, we're going to measure you more regularly because you're measuring really large. I think your baby's really big, or your bump's really big. Like, blah blah blah. How's this happened? I was still training the same for the most part. I was eating the same. Like, I wasn't changing much of my routine. So I did actually start in the first pregnancy being a bit like, oh my god, what has happened? Like, why have I gained all this weight? In the end, I think I gained around 23 kilograms. Yes, 23 kilograms in my first pregnancy. The birth then went absolutely sideways, and then I had a retained placenta for 8 weeks, thus was bleeding, was ill, was anemic, stitches, all the rest of it, to the point that I then couldn't go back to the gym for like 3 months. So it took me a while to get back into things. I lost a lot of muscle mass, I had an ab separation, I was breastfeeding, it was all new, it was all first time, but we got there in the end. We absolutely did get there in the end. But at the end of my first pregnancy, my bump was huge, right? It was massive, and I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I remember thinking, I am never finding my way back from this. Like, all this effort and all this training and all this like eating well, and for what? I've gained 23 kilo. My stomach is never going to go back to having like blocky abs. Look at the size of me. Like, how is that possible? The woman's female body is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and it did. Took time, but we got there in the end. And obviously it's not all about that. Okay, I had a perfect healthy baby. In the end, after all my dilemmas, I was healthy. That's what matters. But obviously, as someone who's into fitness, someone who's into looking your best, feeling your best, it mattered to me, and I'm okay with saying that. I'm absolutely okay with admitting that I wanted to look fit and healthy, lean and strong again, and I wish to do that this time. So this time though, I am going in with the mindset of, I've done it once, I can do it twice. And I am aware now that any weight that I gain in my pregnancy is weight that my body needs to gain to allow me to be pregnant and have a healthy baby. I don't care if I now gain 30 kilo this time, or if it's 15 kilo, if it's more, if it's less, whatever. I'm still training, I'm eating as well as I can for the most part, but obviously I'm having like whatever I want when I want it, within moderation. I'm eating the way I would normally eat day to day anyway, pregnant or not pregnant. Some days I'm eating slightly more, some days I'm eating slightly less. I'm still training, obviously not quite as hard because, you know, I have a big belly in my way now, and I'm doing walks every day. I'm doing what can be done. So whatever is gained is gained. Like, you've got to gain it to have a healthy baby. So that is my mindset this time, and I'm already, I can tell my stomach's already, like my bump is already bigger. I think right now I'm about 7 kilo, 7 or 8 kilo heavier than I was at starting weight. That's absolutely fine. We've still got, what, another 20 to go. So I'm hoping this time, postpartum, touch wood, we have a smoother recovery and can kind of get back into the swing of things when I feel ready a bit sooner, or just feel better in myself to be able to actually pour into myself. I will not be in a rush. But I do really enjoy feeling my best as well as looking my best. So I'll answer one or two more here because I feel like this is getting quite long. But what will the age difference be between Blake and baby number 2? 2.5 years. which my sister and I, for example, are 2 years apart, so I think 2.5 years is a nice age gap. I enjoyed that. It's like your best friend, your whole childhood, teenagehood, even now. So it's great. Oh, I feel like I'm getting a bit of a cold. Okay, how are you prepping for labour, and do you have a different approach this time? This is going to be my last question. Last time I did a hypnobirthing course online. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going in with, so that last time I went to a hospital. Yes, home births aren't for me, they scare me, I'm not going to lie. I just want to make sure that if anything went wrong, the people are there to fix it. We're going to hospital, but the hospital has a maternity ward and it has a midwife led unit, and we did that last time and I absolutely loved it. As much as everything went ski with and needed intervention, I loved the midwife led unit. So it was just one midwife with Adam and I. She was in and out, she didn't even like stay the whole time, she had a hover, she was in it just doing checks, she kind of left us to it. It was great, and we had like an aromatherapy room, so it was all like, there was a pool, there was a bath, there was a bed, there were starlight projectors. It was all just very calming and relaxing. It didn't feel clinical. It did kind of feel like the kind of my safe space between a home birth experience and a hospital experience. It was just really, really nice. So we're opting to do that again. Last time and this time I want to go like medication free, and that was the plan last time, and I did that for 2 days. I laboured for 2 days without any medication, and the problem was Blake was back to back with me, and she was like kept getting stuck side to side and just couldn't like move out of that position. So in the end up I did need forceps to go and get her out, thus I needed a spinal block. They had to kind of help pull her out, and then I needed stitches and all the rest of it. So I didn't have the full, I had the labour experience, but I didn't have the birth experience. So this time I'm hoping I get both, and I'm hoping it's not 2 days either. I'm hoping it's like 2 hours. But I'm going in this time with no expectation. I'm going in with, this is what I would like, but whatever happens happens, so long as everyone in the end is healthy. Because last time I got really disheartened, I got really like annoyed at myself, and just like, you know, I was just frustrated, and I was like, that's so annoying. Like I feel like I was just robbed of that experience. But then you get over it, because you're like, well cool, here's my baby, I'm all good. Whereas this time I'm going in with the same plan but no expectation. So that's what we're going to do. Thank you guys so much for all the love on social media that you've given me regarding this unexpected blessing. Sending baby dust to everyone out there that is trying to have a baby and wants to grow their family, and thank you for all your love and support as always, and I will see you in my next video.